Good evening, everyone. My name is Samantha, and I am going to be doing my presentation on older adults as caregivers. This was covered in week 7 in the older adult section. So the 3 main points that I'll be covering is in 2014, about 14.5% of the U.S. population was aged at 65 and older, and is projected to reach about 23.5%, which means that as time goes on, our population of older adults will be increasing, which they will need more services and more support. Caregivers are at risk or increased risk for negative health consequences. As being caregivers, they often neglect their own needs as they are caring for others' needs. And being a caregiver can oftentimes be a financial burden. Most caregivers, due to the amount of time that it takes to be a caregiver, they do not possess jobs, or those that do have part-time jobs. And as being caregivers, there's a lot of expenses that are put into caring for the other adult, as doctor's appointments, prescriptions, travel expenses, you name it, it is all comes with the cost. So how does this relate to social work or practice? It relates to social work by the code of ethics, dignity and worth of a person. In the Pool in Chapter 13 article, he stated that social workers need to remember that working with elderly, that dignity, self-determination, and the ability to be involved in their care or decision-making is central. So just because they're older adults, do not discount them and act as if they are not aware of what's going on, or that they do not need to be informed on their care. In my current practice, this doesn't necessarily apply because I do not work with older adults at this time. I do work with children and families. For practice recommendations, in the Pool in Chapter 13, the general practice with elderly, he discusses social workers will need to educate themselves on family dynamics and the stress in family caregiving. It is very difficult to be a caregiver for someone, especially if you are already considered an older adult yourself, 65 and older, and having to maintain your own health as well as caring for a parent or a loved one. It is a difficult process, and oftentimes they feel like they are alone. So as a social worker, be mindful that you are not only providing support to the caregiver, but also the recipient. I think when we get cases, if you only have that one particular person on the case, you neglect everyone else that is involved. But this is more so in this particular situation, a group effort, and making sure that you provide referrals to the caregiver as well, because they're only as good for their own health as they are for the next person that they're taking care of. So make sure that you provide them with information on how to maintain their own health, giving them whatever supports that they need so that they can be healthy and continue the caregiving process. And here's my references, and that concludes my presentation. Thank you.